The time has come for our first weekly update of the offseason. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies House Show videocast, and today we're going to have our first weekly update of the offseason as we're going to be talking about some Phillies moves and some all-around baseball moves. It's been a while since we've done one of these, and I'm looking forward to getting in this video. Now, guys, before we get in this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Now, first I want to discuss... It's been a while, right? It's been a while. It was the week before spring training since the last time I've done one of these, and boy, does that feel like ages ago. Oh boy. I enjoy doing these videos to kind of talk about a little weekly recap about what's been going on. First thing I want to talk about is the GM search, right? The Phillies are in the middle of a GM search. It's been a lot of names popping up, one of them being Dave Dombrowski, last with the Boston Red Sox as the president of baseball operations. This would be okay, I guess. I mean, you know, he won a World Series with the Boston Red Sox in 2018, was involved in that Apple Watch scandal in 2016, which is not very good. I don't like to hire a guy who's, you know, involved in a scandal. I really don't like that at all. But it wasn't like the Houston Astros team scandal. It's not like the Detroit Tigers hiring AJ Hinch as their manager, right? I mean, that's a very, very confusing decision. I'm just going to say that. I don't understand that decision. I don't know why you'd hire a guy like AJ Hinch who was involved in one of the biggest scandals in Major League Baseball history. I don't understand why you hire a guy like that, but thank God it's not my team. I'm just going to say that right now. But anyway, Dave Dombrowski would be okay, right? I mean, he had, as I said, brought a World Series championship to the Boston Red Sox. Apparently, he's interested in the Phillies' general manager job, according to a report. That would be okay. I wouldn't mind it. I mean, it's, as I said, it's not like the biggest. It wasn't like the Houston Astros cheating scandal. He was involved in that Apple Watch scandal. You know, the Red Sox did get in trouble for that, of course, as they should have. Another name that has been popping up is Ruben Amar Jr. Yes, Ruben Amar Jr. was the Phillies GM from 2009 to 2015, and Matt Klentak replaced him, and now he could be replacing Matt Klentak. Wow. Wow, and it seems like they're actually pretty interested in him. I can't even believe this. So basically what I've read is he was not very high on the analytics when he was the general manager, and now he's gotten much more involved and has been much more aware of the analytics since leaving that job, being in the broadcast booth and things like that has kind of opened his eyes, I guess. Wow, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, I can't believe this. I wouldn't be opposed to this. I have to know more of the ins and outs, but I can't believe it. When I saw this, I can't believe it. It seems like they're legitimately interested in this. And I talked about this a few weeks ago when I made the Matt Klentak resigning video. And I talked about it. I said how Ruben Amar Jr. was a name on that list. And I didn't really seem real serious about it, but it seems like the Phillies are actually pretty serious about this. Ned Rice is the interim GM as we speak. I'm hoping that, as I talked about, they do not make him the permanent GM. He's almost like another Matt Klentak. He's too young for the job. I really don't think he has much experience. And we really need to get someone in there who has experience and can win a World Series championship for us. We cannot have these younger guys in there. And one thing I want to talk about is Matt Klentak and John Middleton. And I want to give my take on this. I believe that Matt Klentak was a face for the Philadelphia Phillies general manager position. I really do believe that. And I honestly think that John Middleton was basically like our GM. I think Klentak was a puppet, and I think that Middleton was the guy making most of the moves. I really do believe that. And we've already kind of seen that, right? When he did that interview at the end of the season talking about Remuto, oh, I don't want to pay him this kind of money. I mean, you know, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. It almost seems like, yes, you know, Matt Klentak was the general manager of this team. But from what I've seen and just what I gather, you know, information I gather, it just seems like he was just a face. It just kind of seemed like he was a face, and it seemed like John Middleton was the guy making all the moves, at least most of the moves, to me at least. That's just what I've seen and what I've heard. It kind of just seems like Klentak was just kind of like a puppet. It didn't really have, you know, full control. It kind of just seemed, and, you know, we all know, you know, the GM, you know, doesn't have full authority. The owners have say over the GM. We all know that, but it just seems like in this kind of situation that Middleton had way too much control over Klentak. And that's just purely speculation. I could be completely wrong. For all I know, this all could be Klentak's fault. I'm just giving my opinion. In my opinion, I think Klentak was just kind of a face. I really don't think that he had full control here. I just kind of think that Middleton was the guy making most of these moves, making most of these decisions, and, you know, making it very, very hard for Klentak to do his job. That's just my opinion. And I am very, very disappointed in John Middleton. Regardless if this, you know, my opinion is true or not, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I'm so disappointed in him. I mean, you know, you talk a big game, back it up, and he hasn't backed it up at all. I'm so disappointed in him. And speaking of JT Realmuto, I talked about it on my free agent video yesterday. If you haven't gone and seen that video, please check it out right now. It's my most recent video. I wanted to, kind of talk about the potential suitors for JT Muto, and one of them going into this offseason was the New York Mets. And for JT Muto, for this report to come out saying that JT Muto does not want to play in New York is very, very interesting, and it does kind of seem true to me. Look at JT Muto's personality. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would fit in that environment. And as I talked about, if they gave him record-breaking money, he'd sign there, no doubt. But you also have to keep in mind that a lot of stuff is smokescreen, right? A lot of stuff is smokesceen. Just reports that are put out to throw other teams off. Is that to raise the Mets' offer? Is that for Steve Cohen of the New York Mets, new owner of the New York Mets, to put more pressure on them? I mean, for all I know, that's what could be going on right now. So I just don't see that. Report. I wouldn't take that to the bank. I mean, as I said, I do think it's probably true. We can't act like it's factually true. JT Muto did not say that in an interview or on recording or anything. The report that came out and said that he said that. But how do we know if he actually said it? Because there's no video evidence of him saying that, of course. So that's just a report that came out. But as I said, I do think it is true. But we can't get overly confident about it and say, well, that's definitely true. We're 100% sure that that's true, because we're not. We're not 100% sure that is true. So we can't get ahead of ourselves and take it to the bank and say, well, he definitely said that, because he really didn't. And about the Washington Nationals, I got a comment on here. I mean, Nats Prime commented and said, how about Remuto to DC? And, my response to that is, I don't think so, man. I mean, they have to save up money for Trey Turner, right? They have to save up money for Trey Turner, not even to mention Juan Soto. And I have a really, really big take here. I do think that Juan Soto will be baseball's first $500 million player. Because he's just so good. He's insanely good. He's a superstar. And they're going to have to pay Trey Turner. They still have to pay Steven Strasburg. Max Scherzer's still in the books for another couple years. So they just have a lot of payroll tied into a lot of players. And for them to go out and sign JT Muto, it just wouldn't make much sense to me. They, still have Yan Gomes, of course. So I just don't think that, going out and signing JT Muto would make much sense for the Nats. I mean, it would. I definitely think he'd be a good fit there. But financially speaking, I don't really see that happening. I don't really see that happening. And another thing I want to talk about, I haven't really had much time to talk about it, is Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler had surgery on his right fingernail. We saw him when he was trying to adjust his zipper on his pants. He got caught in a zipper, and it totally messed up his pitching hand. that was just such a mess. And he finally had surgery on it. He's expected to be ready for next year, thankfully. Honestly, it looked like that was impacting the way he was playing. There's no doubt about it. After that happened, he was never the same the rest of the year. So hopefully he's ready to get back at it next year. Because Zach Wheeler, we need Zach Wheeler. He was fantastic for us in the 60-game season this year. And I can't wait to see what he does for us next year in a 162-game season. Another thing I want to talk about, the Phillies are rumored to be in the top 5 teams in running for starting pitcher Trevor Bauer. I don't really tend to, get too hooked on these reports. Well, this team's top 5 for this player, or, I don't really tend to, look at that too much. But this, I think it's true. We definitely are in the running for Trevor Bauer. We need another starter in that rotation after the loss of Jake Arrieta free agency. As I talked about yesterday, Jake Arrieta, not the best pitcher. We all know that, but we need another starter in that rotation. There's no question about that. Preferably a lefty, which Trevor Bauer is not. But it's not the end of the world. But you know what? Trevor Bauer would be great here. He's going to be expensive. He's not going to be a guy who's going to want to sign a long-term deal. There's no question about that. But definitely is interesting that we're in the top 5 for him. It's definitely interesting for sure. And then another thing that happened, I believe this was about 2 weeks ago, pitching coach Brian Price announced his retirement from a full-on coaching position, right? From a full-on coaching position. First came out and said he just announced his retirement from baseball completely. That's not true. He announced his retirement from a full-on coaching position. And can you blame the guy? My goodness, dealing with this, awful bullpen. Can you blame him for retiring? My goodness, in a 60-game season, I couldn't take it. It's the 3rd worst in the game's history our bullpen was this year. Can you blame Brian Price for retiring there? My goodness. He was a good coach, too. I'm sad to hear this. Think about how many pitching coaches we've had over the past couple of years. We had Rick Kranitz in 18, Chris Young in 19, Brian Price in 20, and now we're going to have a new one in 21. So we have to fill that pitching coach position. So my goodness gracious, can you blame Brian Price for this? As I said, he retired from a full-on coaching position, so that does not mean that he cannot coach again. He probably will. He probably will get a kind of a part-time coaching job So I wish him nothing but the best. Thank you so much for this year. I appreciate it. He's much better than Chris Young. Chris Young had no experience working with any pitchers before that, so. And firing Rick Klentak, to my opinion, was a mistake. He definitely was a mistake. He's had some good success there with the Atlanta Braves. So, and we did it to keep Chris Young from going to the Atlanta Braves, and then the Braves ended up hiring Rick Klentak. So it kind of backfired on us there. And as I talked about on my last Phillies Hot Show check-in, was probably been about 2 to 3 weeks now. Rhys Hoskins had Tommy John surgery. He's going to be out 4 to 6 months. I hope to have him ready for opening day. He's definitely going to miss some of spring training, which isn't the end of the world. Now, one guy I forgot to talk about in that video who had surgery around the same time was Adam Morgan. Adam Morgan had surgery on his left elbow flexor tendon to repair it, and he will miss 6 to 9 months. This is a huge blow for the Phillies bullpen, especially since they are right-handed heavy, and it's such a valuable asset to have a lefty coming out of that bullpen. Now, I do think we will see him pitch in 2021, but it's probably not going to be until like August. It's going to be a while, so this is a disappointment. There's no question about that. Adam Morgan, I mean, I understand you now have the best of seasons, but he's a lefty. That's the thing about it. I mean, he's a lefty, and we all know, as I keep talking about, our pitching staff, just in total, I mean, we don't have a lefty in our rotation, for first of all. This is not good. For the Phillies need to go out in free agency and sign a left-handed relief pitcher. There's no question about that, to try to fill that void, because, as I said, I don't think we'll see him until probably August of 2021. I mean, at least. So, guys, that's pretty much it. Just a little weekly update here, the first one of the 2020-2021 off-season. Once again, every week, let you know if anything changes. I mean, if I'll make a video during the week if there's a big free agent signing or anything like that. But sign JT, sign Didi, try to bring back Jose Alvarez. Guys like that. I mean, we got to keep guys like that who had a big impact on this team. I think the first priority definitely is pitching. I mean, people keep saying the first priority is re-sign JT, which that's a big priority, but I think the first one has to be the bullpen. I mean, not just the bullpen, it's the whole entire pitching staff for that matter, but especially the bullpen. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media links in the section at Phillies House from Instagram, or for next Instagram. Guys, call or text 267-225-5392. Email me, phillieshouse@gmail.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I am Luke, and I will talk to y'all later.